So as a professional copywriter, tell us, what do you think? What elements that we should put in the about page?
Yep. So first of all is the perspective shift, which is that your story is never about you. It's about your client. And your about page, this framework I'm about to tell you, is something that can be used on your about page, but it's also applicable for any piece of copy you write ever, which is that every piece of real estate online is an opportunity for you to connect with the ideal customer and show them how you can help them. So
Can you repeat that sentence one more time? What you just said?
Every piece of real estate online is a place for you to show people how you can help them. I think that's what I said. Yeah.
Yes.
So the methodology that I created is the PAYS method, PAYS, and it stands for problem, avatar, which is your ideal client, you, and your solution. And at the bare bones, that is what marketing is. And so when you're writing your about page, when you're writing a story for your client, you get to start by talking about what's going on with them. What is their problem? First of all, whenever I sit down to write any kind of copy, the first thing I do is, okay, who am I writing to? Who is my ideal customer? What is their problem? What's going on in their life? Not just what's the problem in this vague, like amorphous language, but what is like actually going on in their day-to-day life where they're in pain. Can
you give us an example?
Yeah, so a really typical example is, my problem is I just need more leads. I need to generate leads. Okay, what is the evidence that you're collecting in your daily life that is telling you I need more leads? Maybe it's, depending on your industry, maybe it's that you look at your call calendar and you don't have any sales calls booked. Maybe you're opening up your email inbox and you're not getting any responses to your emails. Maybe whatever prospecting methods, you're collecting some kind of evidence, and there's always an emotional impact for what's going on. So with the sales call calendar, you wake up on a Monday morning and you look at your calendar for the week or on a Sunday evening, and you realize that you don't, yet again, there are no sales calls booked on your calendar. And you get that feeling in your stomach of, oh boy, I'm going to have to work way harder this week. I'm going to have to hustle again. I'm going to burn out. What am I going to tell my wife? What if I can't make bills? The mental narrative that goes when you start encountering the problem. And it's really important to understand that's what's going on with them. Now, you as the expert may be sitting there being like, that's not your problem.
Yeah, exactly.
It's if you just say, I just need more leads. If I send you 2 people who are not your ideal client, but maybe they'll give you some money for something that you might do. If you're a graphic designer and you want to work with people to redo their entire brand, and I send you a client who wants you to design a single logo inside Canva for $50. Okay, cool. But that doesn't actually help me do what I want to do. What you said was I need more leads.
Yeah.
And so you got leads, and so you fulfilled what you wanted. So helping people get specific about their problems is really important. And that's relevant in your copywriting because what they think is going on is probably not what's actually going on. Where people mess up and where this really comes in with the about page in any copywriting is you as the expert tend to talk in your expert speak. And you tend to talk about the problem from your perspective. And your ideal client probably doesn't know what you're talking about. They may have no idea what you're talking about. Because you could be talking about how like you don't need, how your problem is your offer and you're not selling the right thing. They're like, my offer's fine, I just need more leads. And when you go and you dig into it and you're like, no, your offer's a big problem. But they don't know that. They are where they are, and you have to meet them like Jesus meets us. You have to meet them where they're at. So bringing it back to like your about page, it's like, what's going on for them? Okay, let's talk about it. And now you're part of it. I always contextualize it with their problems. And then you get to talk about you and why you are qualified to help them solve that problem. And this really clarifies things for people in terms of like, what's my story? What story do I tell? What part of your story is relevant for the problem that they have? Because you may help people generate leads, and your 2014 World Cooking Championship medal probably isn't super relevant for helping them generate leads. Now, it might be a little anecdote that you use to talk about to create connection, but when we're just talking about solving the problem they have, you want to keep the story, at least in this part of it, aligned with what they need help with. And then it's like showing them what the solution actually is. Hey, are you this kind of person? Are you a business owner who needs more leads? Well, I just happen to be a copywriter who helps you generate more of your perfect leads. And here's some of the things that I've done to help other people do exactly that. And if you want help with that, here's how I work, and contact me, kind of thing. So that's a pretty simple framework for an about page. Where people get stuck is, especially if you were a coach. If you're a coach, the problem that you run into immediately is, I solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So what do I talk about then? And that's a process not of ignorance about the problems. It's a process of being specific and bold and courageous to choose one to talk about with your ideal client, because the problem that you talk about is going to attract a different kind of person. So it's a refining process, but defining the problem that they have is actually really the first step, which is why it's P and paste method.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. It's just, we're surely going to put, obviously, show note. And I'm sure Kameron will give me a link or somewhere that you guys maybe can up into his field of influence, his funnel, to see the method. I think it's very important. I love about his method is similar like our Power One, is totally its inside out approach. Because that's how God created us to be.
And if you like this video and this episode, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share with others so more Christ-centered leaders have the opportunity to consume this type of valuable content. Before I go, I just want to remind you that you can click on the screen to go to the next business growth videos, and I will see you in the next episode.